I've been teaching English to Korean people for more than 5 years, and I often hear the same mistakes again and again and again, not just from beginner students, but also from the most advanced students, including those who've lived abroad. So I've decided to make these videos to help clear up these common mistakes. The first thing I want to talk about is a sentence that I hear really often when people talk about work. People often say, I go to company, or I go to the company. Both of these sentences are not quite right. Instead, we have two options. I go to the office, or I go to work. Now, in English, when we say I go to or I go to the next word needs to be a physical place, like restaurant, bank, gym, dentist, something like that. When we think about the word company in English, it's not a physical place. It's an organization. 그래서 간단하게 설명하려면 회사, 컴퍼니가 제가 들어갈 수 있는 장소가 아니라 건물이 아니라 조직, 기업, 단체라고 생각하면 될 것 같아요. So we're thinking of this kind of organization rather than a physical place. So for English speakers, I go to the company doesn't make sense because company is not a physical place. Instead, we typically say I go to the office. This can be a really useful expression when you're describing your working habits, like I go to the office 4 times a week or I go to the office every day. So when should you use the word company? Well, when you're describing a policy or something. For example, my company lets us work from home, or my company has 5 offices around the world. Fine. That's the basic explanation. But a little bit more interesting and a slightly more advanced point here is why we say I go to work. Why is it not I go to the work? We just said I go to the office, right? I go to the work would be incorrect because work is part of a group of special nouns in English. Work, school, hospital, home, they're the main 4. Prison, church, they're quite similar. And for this group of words, we're not thinking about the physical place, the physical school building. Instead, we're thinking about the action, the purpose of going to that place. Who are the main people that go to school? Students. What's the main reason they go there? To study. Hospital. Who are the main people that go to hospital? Patients. Why do they go there? Because they're sick. Prison. Who are the main people that go to prison? Criminals. Why do they go there? Because they committed a crime. It's the same with work. Who are the main people that go to work? Workers. Why do they go there? To work. So when we think about work, we don't think 회사를 다니다 or 회사에 간다. We think 일하러 간다. Go to school is not 학교에 간다, it's 공부하러 간다. That's the difference. That's why it doesn't make sense to say I go to the work. However, we can say I go to the school, or I go to the hospital, or I go to the prison, but the meaning is different. When we add the, it has a nuance. So remember, who are the main people that go to school and what's the main reason they go there? Students, and they go there to study. Anyone that isn't a student could use the. For example, I will go to the school on the way home to pick up my wallet. I went to a concert at the school near my house. The teacher went to the prison yesterday to do a special class. Now in this sentence, we don't say the teacher went to prison yesterday because it sounds like the teacher committed a crime. That's the main reason people go to prison. And when we use the main reason, we don't need the. So we just say the teacher went to the prison yesterday to teach a class. So that's the difference here. So when you hear go to work, don't think 회사를 다니다, 회사에 간다, 사무실에 간다. Think 일을 하러 간다. 그래서 이런 표현에서는 go to school, go to hospital, go to prison, go to work, go to church, go home. 장소보다 목적이나 활동이 더 중요한 거예요. If you're being really specific, like I go to the school near my house 3 times a week to study, that's different. The school near my house. So when we're being really specific, which school? The school near my house. The school over there. The school that I went to when I was younger. In that case, we say the school. So finally, I go to company, no. I go to the company, also no. I go to the office, or I go to work. Both of them are fine. So when do we use these? I go to the office. Use it when you're comparing going to the office with working at home. I used to work at home. I go to the office 3 days a week, even though it's really far away from my house. I have to go to the office every day, even though my friends work from home. And what I really want is for these videos to have 그렇구나 moment for you when you're watching them. So I guess I'll be calling these the 그렇구나 series, because those are such great moments when you suddenly understand why something is not quite right and how to make it right. So that's what we'll talk about.